All right, everybody. It is Hit Rewind, the off season. What? Sort of. We're between seasons right now, so we're just gonna be goofing off for the rest of the year, doing whatever we want. Especially with me potentially moving in a few weeks, and I don't know when I'll have internet again. So we're just gonna be doing like these light, fluffy little episodes where we decided to pick bands of the '80s. John and I, and then Jacob and I are gonna be picking bands of the '70s. And then probably towards the end, we'll start flowing into the 90s to warm you up for the new season, which starts in 1990.
Yeah, I definitely have one thing for the 90s that I want to do, and I think it'll be awesome.
Yeah, well, we have some that kind of flow in 80s and 90s. Like we have, so what we do in this off-season kind of stuff is we're going to be doing some of the teen movies for our other podcast. We got the beat, but we're also going to be picking these bands. We do 2 per episode, so a lot of them, their heyday is the 80s. Or like with Jacob, the 70s. But there's some that flow in 2 or 3 different decades. Like Metallica and Megadeth, you know, they broke through in the 80s, but they hung on for quite a bit longer. And still, I would say like Megadeth and Metallica are still noteworthy.
I'm seeing Megadeth later in this month of September that we're recording.
Oh, nice. So that'll be a nice warm up to connect to the 90s because you know their tissue goes over. Like Anthrax, we could definitely do Anthrax because that's an 80s and 90s band, and you know beyond. So what we were doing in this episode? Sorry, it's awkward. I had way too much sugar at the same time. I'm nauseous and elated. So let's start off. He flipped a quarter, so he's going first. We're going to start off with Oingo Boingo. So the concept is if you could get any band you wanted to perform 10 songs of your choice and an encore, what's the band and what are the songs? So he's going to start off going through his entire list, and I'll go, and then we'll pick Devo, and I'll go, and then he'll go.
All right. So for Oingo Boingo, I thought I would start off everything with Where Do All My Friends Go? I just love just kind of like how it's a very slow start, very, very, just it's the vocals. It's a great way to start something. You just have, you have Danny Elfman out there just starting off with that little thing, and then all the music kicks in, and it's a nice bounce, it's a nice boppy track, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great way to start it. Then I would have them go into Insanity.
A later cut, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any of the later cuts. I stopped at the 87 album.
Actually, I think that's about the latest I go. Well, I think it's like their last album anyway. But still.
Did you listen to his new album? The first few cuts aren't very good, and then all of a sudden it kicks in.
I couldn't get past the first track, so I was done there. And there has to be a hook for me.
Yeah, it's 4 where it starts to kick in. You're like, oh, okay, this is more of the. It's like he purposely tried to do something completely different than what you already know. So I don't know who the audience is.
People that we know that don't necessarily listen to anything popular.
Yeah.
Dead Man's Party. Then they go into No One Lives Forever. Only a Lad. Who Do You Want to Be? Just Another Day. And then something from an album that we didn't cover. Running on a Treadmill from Nothing to Fear.
We didn't cover that album?
We didn't do that album.
Wow. If you guys listen to the show, we do a yearly choice selection of 10 albums. We really didn't. I thought I chose every single one of their albums up and through 87, so I'm kind of surprised.
No, we covered just about everything except that, and of course the solo album.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Running on a Treadmill, Nothing Bad Ever Happens to Me.
Love that track. It almost made my list.
Yeah, Wild Sex in the Working Class, and then for the encore, Weird Science.
Yeah, you're gonna love mine then. Why did you choose your final 2 tracks? I'm curious.
Okay, Wild Sex in the Working Class is a fun track. I remember listening to that off of. I had their the greatest hits collection. It's one of the tracks I dug. I did, for a little while, I had Flesh and Blood on there, because I loved it off the Ghostbusters soundtrack, and, it's like, that was on there, and when it was at 10, I didn't have Weird Science on, and it was, the listing was a little different, but it ended up being Dead Man's Party would have been the encore.
So that was my encore. because I assumed you were going to choose something else for your encore, so I'm switching mine out. The reason I chose Weird Science is because they've never. I really don't think they've ever done it live. Like the minute they were done, he was ashamed of it, and he says he's embarrassed by it. They never perform it in their concerts. Not even their final concert did they perform it. It's their biggest hit, and he says he wrote it on the way over to the studio, and he hates the video. And I'm just like, that'd be one great thing to add, but I'm still on the wire because there was another song, and it's a little too obvious that I want for my final song. But fuck it, I'm going with it.
Well, it's like what works for it as being a closing song, even if it. Because let's be honest, I think we talked about it when we were talking about the album. Is like the song is a bit too long, and it just keeps going.
There's a few of them like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of the songs where it's because of that way too long outro. You know, that's a perfect way to close out a set. I mean, I've seen the band KMFDM live many times, and it's like you'll have basically as parts of the song end, the people will start leaving. You know, it's like, okay, the drum part's done. Okay, you know, vocals are done. We're just running the sound. You know, this little bit of feedback and guitar tone as it goes, and just kind of as everything kind of ends, people just kind of gracefully exit the stage. And Weird Science kind of has that, where you can just pretty much have the band leave and still have a little bit of the sound and like a, you know, someone in the mixing board echoing the, you know, bits and pieces.
Right.
You know, you don't have to have him on stage all by himself saying shit.
Yeah, it's a shame that that's their biggest hit and he never wants anything to do with it. So it would be nice to see that in concert. But like I said, I chose something different. So if that is your list, if it's okay to go ahead with mine.
Go for it.
All right. So I want to start it off with something that is a signature of their sound. Also kind of gives you an idea of where Danny Elfman is going with his composition work for movies. And I want to start off with Nasty Habits. It's off their first album, and it really gives that da 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 da, and it's kind of a fun, jovial party song.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
And this is one that was never a hit. No one ever talks about it, but it is amazing live. When they do Reptiles and Samurais, for some reason, it just comes alive. And that's a pun intended, because on the album it's fine. But when they do it at the show, I've seen it in some of their concert videos, it's just, I don't know, there's more energy to it.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I'm not overly familiar with that song. Which album was that one off of?
I believe it was off the third one. Damn it.
Okay.
The one with Wake Up, it's 1984.
Okay, yeah. Good for Your Soul. No,
yeah, thank you. I'm pretty sure it's Good for Your Soul. And then by this, everybody's warmed up. They're ready to go for some kick-ass epic songs. So No Spill Blood. You're starting to bring in the epicness of their sound. You know, you're warming everybody up, and it involves the entire band. Because some of the songs, they don't really involve everybody. And this is everybody. The horn section, the backup singers, every instrument. So I think it's a really, we've hit our stride where we're opening this up now.
Okay, I can see that.
Now it's time to kick some fucking ass. And it's Who Do You Want to Be?
There we go.
Yes.
That is such a great song.
Yeah, and it's huge energy, but you got to come down a little bit because you don't want to burn the people out with too much slam dancing or whatever. Do people still slam dance? I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Wake Up, it's 1984, another epic song that's multi-layered. It includes everybody, but you bring it down a notch, not to burn everything out. It's one of my favorite tracks. And then it goes into No One Lives Forever, another one of those layered, everybody involved epics. And I just love the themes. They're all telling these big stories.
Yeah, oh man. Well, that's the thing is, I noticed with my list, it's very Dead Man's Party. And I think mainly because that's probably their perfect album, and almost everything on that just bops so friggin' hard.
Yeah.
It's the most, it's like you want energy, anything from that album, pretty much.
It's the first 3 or 4 really nail it. And once they became successful, he wanted to change their sound. So their 87 album, Boingo, changes a lot of the tone and feel of it. I don't like it as much. So that's why you see predominantly the first half of their career in this concert. Then I want to drop it down quite a bit and into more somber, methodical, pain, and then into Gratitude. Gratitude is one that I don't think anybody really talks about. I knew it. That's the first song I knew by them because it was on the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack.
Okay, yeah, it's like that's a good one. That's a very good one.
And then we're still kind of dipping low. We want to get to the end and build back up. So we got Flesh and Blood. We're going back into the layered. Everybody's involved again. Not too somber. It's got a mix of the faster beats, but mixed with more delicate lyrics. And then I want to finish off with Try to Believe, which is one of their later cuts, and it's just a huge sound. And I'm a huge fan of Midnight Run, and they use the score that was originally born in this song, that horn section they use in that movie. It's a really big, hopeful song, and I really enjoy it. And then for the encore, it's cliche, but I love Goodbye, Goodbye.
Well, not a bad choice, or even a bad thing.
Because that's the one that, like you said, can wander off at the end, and kind of, everybody kind of fades away, and it gives them time to enjoy the concert as they're walking away. They don't really need to see it, because Goodbye, Goodbye is a long fucking track.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's always the strength of a closing song, is kind of you're able to leave and have let everything kind of settle over you. Let the night end.
Yeah.
In such a way that you can be tired from dancing or headbanging or whatever it is that you're doing, but it's just like you're left, and it's like the catharsis of that exit.
I wanted to add one track, but I thought it was so stupid of me to add it, because it's only, I swear it's like a minute long. It's the theme from the Fast Times TV show from 1986. I love that track. And it's not on any of their albums, because I believe it belongs to Universal and not to them. Boo.
Well, that could be their intro song.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could combine it with Goodbye, Goodbye, because they're both from Fast Times Ridgemont High.
Okay. That could work too.
That was one that I wanted. I was like, it's just too short. It's not worth it. So that is it on the Oingo Boingo. I actually kind of like these speed episodes. We already got through half of it, and we're only at 13 minutes. Nice.
Nice.
So I get to start off with this one. So the next band is Devo, and I am going to start off with a track. I've seen them live, so I'm cheating. You've never seen Oingo Boingo or Devo, right?
No.
Oingo Boingo broke up like when we were kids. I think I was 17 when they were finally done, and you were 11, I think.
Probably, yeah.
They stopped in 94.
Okay, 13 then.
Okay.
13.
We're really hold on a second. Okay, yeah, so we're 3 years apart. Sorry. So Devo I got to see in 2011 up in Portland. I can't remember the hall I saw them, but I was shocked that they were
for the Something for Everybody tour.
Yes, and Albert something Hall, Albert Schweitzer Hall. I can't remember, but it was absolutely packed. And I did not expect that. I thought, these guys are has-beens. There's going to be nostalgia just because, Warner Brothers is pushing this album. No, it was completely sold out. They came back over and over and over again for the next 2 years, performing all over that area. And they always sold very well. And I saw people of every generation. I could not believe. And I don't even know why they even bothered having an opening band, because no one cared. These guys are just goofing around, and whatever, the kids, I guess that's why, because they thought they were cute or something. They should have just blown the doors off and just been Devo, because they gave a 2.5-hour concert. And these guys were probably pushing 60 or more by then.
Yeah, let's see, they haven't released any new material since that. No, it was like Something Else for Everybody.
Yeah, right. Now it's just leftover tracks. They did that theme a couple years later for Monster Man on Sci-Fi Channel. I feel like they did release another single. They did one about Mitt Romney somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure they still tour, so I'm hopeful to get a chance to see it.
I do believe it's over. They're now just doing like one-offs here and there. They might go to like Lollapalooza or something like that, but they can't. They've lost half their band already, and they're pushing 70, and so I think that they're basically done with the tours. But they are unbelievable, even with them, in their age or whatever. They still just have a great visual show. And so the first track that they played, sorry, I'm wandering off the ranch a little bit, but the first track is Fresh. And that's what they opened with when I saw them. And they have this huge screen behind them. And the song just works so well with what they're showing you on the screen.
Okay.
And then we go into What We Do, which is how they... This follows a little bit like the way I saw them live. Because they knew they needed to push the new tracks. And Something for Everybody might be my favorite Devo album. I just love it so much.
I won't say it's my favorite, but... It was definitely, I think it's probably of their stuff, if not their strongest album, but like third strongest, second strongest maybe.
Yeah.
Like it is a hell of an album.
They really pick up like with a lot of dance tracks, but it also has a lot on its mind.
Yeah, hey everybody who listened to our mixtape series. Yes, this is a great album. You can check it out.
Yeah, and this is after some decades where they just went off to do movie stuff. They do singles for like Super Cop and stuff like that, and they were just doing movie scores. It's because their last two albums were complete and absolute flops, and they're hard to listen to, and I think that they just needed to walk away for a while and then realize nostalgia for them was coming back. They were more than a one-hit wonder. So... All right, so I'm taking too long here. So the third one is a classic track, which kicks a lot of ass. I always like to open up a concert with a big rocking track on the third one. I think that's when you really warm up an audience. And Freedom of Choice is one of their most powerful songs and catchy. So I wanted to go with that one. Bring it down a little bit with Mr. B's Ballroom. I think that's a highly underrated track that no one really talks about. Then I go into Here to Go, which is also from the Something for Everybody. And then go for another B-side classic track with Pity You. And no one ever talks about Pity You. Most of the stuff off of the Oh No, It's Devo and... damn it. What's the 1984 album that you didn't really care for, but I did? I'm getting old man disease here. Shout.
Wait.
Shout.
Yeah. No, Shout was later?
I thought it was 84. I'm pretty sure it's 84.
Maybe you're right.
So Pity You, and then Time Out for Fun, which I absolutely love from Oh No, It's Devo. Then drop to a really old school from the original album, Praying Hands. I think that song fucking kicks ass.
Okay, all right.
That's good. Also off of Oh No, That's Devo, and that's how I fell in love with the band. That's the track they played on Square Pegs, and I got to tell them that. I was like, Beyond Whip It. For a long time I didn't know anything about you guys until I had seen a rerun of Square Pegs like in the middle of the night on TV Land, and that's when I fell in love with it. I want to end it on something a little more somber, and it's a really deep song for them, is Beautiful World.
That's a great song.
But I don't want to leave everybody kind of moping. I want to kind of leave it on a cliffhanger there and then come back with a very important song that I think kicks a little more ass, is Later Is Now off of Something for Everybody, because it really has a good message, but also is a good way to, it's a more bouncy track.
Alrighty.
And that's it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I apparently am copying you, at least on our opener, because I also have Fresh to open it.
It's a pretty good intro track. It's either that or like one where they had to say, we're Devo, something to tell you who they are.
Yeah, well, that was part... When we were originally setting up the list for these things, especially on my end, I'd gotten through Megadeth and Metallica. I had set my list there, and I was gearing all these things to the 80s, and that was it. And then when I got to Devo, I'm like, I don't know, I kind of want some of these other songs.
Yeah.
And I'm going, can I dip into the 70s, and then you basically said you opened the floodgates to everything. So then I had to redo all my lists.
Right. We're kind of just picking the bands that their heyday or their breakthrough kind of thing is a certain decade.
So my Devo list did totally get fully reworked.
Yeah, it's funny. Both of us opened up with Fresh, and I assumed you were going to start with Uncontrollable Urge, which is like but I think before Fresh's was their go-to opening track because it just really, it's a big blasting, here we are kind of track.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? That's my second track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the one I was going to open with necessarily, but I did kind of want to throw Uncontrollable Urge in there at some point if the 70s opened up, and then then went, oh no, Fresh is the opener. But yeah, Uncontrollable Urge totally kicks everybody's ass because it's such a fast kind of punk rock track.
Yeah, people forget they were a punk band first.
Then we go down to Time Out for Fun.
Oh, yay.
So now you start getting people to dance and everything. And then my next one slows it down a bit, Working in the Coal Mine.
Okay. I tried to stay away from the covers. I don't know why, but because they were kind of notorious for doing their version of certain covers, but it is a really good one.
Yeah, and it definitely, it feels like it's a good live song, too. Just to kind of... It's upbeat and everything, but it's also a little more restrained considering a lot of their other stuff. But then go into Snowball from Freedom of Choice.
Snowballs?
Yep.
Or wait, Snowballs or Snowball?
Snowball.
Why don't I remember that one? Snowball? No.
Yeah.
Which album is Snowball off of?
Freedom of Choice.
I'd have to listen to it again. I don't know. How can I sit here and talk about my two favorite bands and yet I'm confused on a song? I feel like an idiot.
Let's see. Well, then we go into Through Being Cool.
Oh, great track. Great video.
And then from one album that I really suspect you wouldn't have expected me to put anything from, but The Fourth Dimension.
That was almost on mine. I love that one. And Patterns, those two almost made it.
And then I got Postmodern Man.
Wow. One of the very last tracks.
Oh God, I love this song. I think it's such a funny, hilarious song.
Have you seen the video? It's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those that 87 album is so bad. There's really nothing to be gathered from. But the 91 is a little bit better, but I really think that that's the only, yes, this is the track from this album. There's really nothing else I want to put on a best of list.
Yeah, I think I'm one of the few people who, and I say it in a kind of a begrudging way, I like Smooth Noodle Maps, but I don't, it's definitely not an album that's my favorite, or I would overly push on people.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's I don't think it's as bad as people want to say it is. I don't think it's going, again, definitely not anywhere near their best work, but Postmodern Man is definitely the highlight of it.
Yeah.
Then from there, we go to Beautiful World, and then Freedom of Choice, and then when we come back for an encore, we do the Tank Girl version of Girl You Want.
Nice.
Complete with the female vocalist from...
Okay, so Devo is doing the instrumental.
The music,
okay.
The instrumental, and I would say probably, you probably have some Mother's Bow does backing vocals or something.
Yeah. I thought about Gates of Steel too. What almost made your list for Oingo, Boingo, and Devo?
Let's see. Gates of Steel almost made it on my list. Secret Agent Man, I was thinking about it, and then just, how discordant their early stuff is. It just didn't feel like it would flow well with
at a concert. Yeah, some of the tracks are great, but like Jago Homo, live is so long and it really loses steam. I've seen it when they were performing at Lollapalooza, I think 96, and it doesn't play well like the rest of the tracks.
Yeah, and as for Oingo Boingo, I almost had Wake Up It's 1984. Stay was on my list a few times. It was like if not the last track, it was like the second to last before an encore. And God, what was else? There was something. I don't know. There was one other one that kept jumping in, and well, I did say Flesh and Blood.
Yeah. I thought about Human Rocket as well for Devo, but that I don't think is going to perform well live. I went to a club where they played it, and it really kills. But it has to be kind of one of those slow groove kind of things. It was a club / arcade called Ground Control in Portland, and they were playing that, and it just goes so well when you're kind of chilling.
Yeah, I can see that, where it's like a little more intimate setting, so they're not going to. You're not there to blast and get the audience
right
totally pumping. It's you can kind of play with how the highs and lows a little bit easier.
Yeah. All right, so that is our list. Next episode we'll be talking about is Megadeth and Metallica, which is going to be so hard for me. Metallica, they spread their albums out. Megadeth has I feel like they have twice the amount of albums.
Oh yeah.
And I'm very, very much wanting to add a track that everybody fucking hates from Megadeth. They said they almost ruined their career. It's from a movie, and I love it.
Oh. I could take a guess which one.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you, but yeah, I mean, I'll tell you off air, but I know people hate this track, and I love it. All right, so that is it. Check us out on Facebook under Hit Rewind, and check you out where on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter, Musician, MYUZISHION. I also am on Twitch.
You and I should go get Raspberry Pis, or you need to come and visit me, or I need to come and visit you, and we do some live gaming of some old school stuff. Let's just go A through Z of every single game from some of these weirdo consoles. That way we're not on it forever. But I am tempted with the Genesis because there was some strange shit on there.
That'd be fun, and I do have a console that two consoles that allow me to stream directly from it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my Raspberry Pi will stream online, and I can connect to you. I think. Not sure. We'll figure it out later. But that'd be fun, kind of just to check out these games and decide if they're not, you want to bail immediately or stick it out. All right, so that is everybody. Have a good night.
Later, guys.
Or if it's a morning, whatever, go have a coffee. Enjoy your day.